Bring you guys back to 2017. I had just moved to Florida from New York. I didn't really have a community, really didn't have a single friend, and I saw a Facebook ad for this crazy paddleboard crossing. And so I just reached out through the website. Immediately I was on the phone with Travis for about a half hour. Very next day we met up down in West Palm Beach, and we talked about Piper, my older sister, Travis's vision for Piper's Angels Foundation, and this crazy paddleboard event. And so within 24 hours of meeting Travis, I was all in. I signed up. I had never been on a paddleboard before, but I was determined to do something crazy with somebody who seemed equally as crazy as I am.
And I had also just moved to Florida from New York as well in 2016, and I had this vision to be a documentary filmmaker. And I met Lori Griffith, a local photographer on the beach, and she said, "You gotta meet Travis Suit, he's doing this crazy adventure." So Travis and I had dinner in Boca in 2016. I had just moved there, and we're like, let's do it. Let's capture this event and create something beautiful. So as we prepared for the event over the course of a couple of months, one of the special elements he told me to capture was Josh, who I didn't know at the time, and it was about yoga, because you were practicing yoga for your training. So that was something that Travis wanted to include in the film.
Right, so we fast forward, it's June 2017, we're in Bimini. This very cute girl at the time comes up to me and asked if she could interview me, and I was like, oh, okay, sure. And then the next thing I knew, I'm all mic'd up and I'm in front of a camera, and it hit me, oh my God, I'm in front of a camera. I'd never been in front of a camera before, and so I was like really nervous, and she could clearly tell, and I was like embarrassing myself, and again, she was very cute. And I just remember in that moment a very calming presence. She directed me through it, like took my attention off the camera, just have a conversation with me. And so I survived my very first video interview with you. And yeah, so tell us a little bit more about
So, I mean, at Bimini in 2017, it was 30 paddlers. It was like an intimate retreat. It was amazing. None of us knew what we were getting into. I certainly didn't. And it was great. We had a couple days. We did group gatherings. We shared meals together. And Josh and I had little touch points of connection. And there was certainly an attraction there. And I was in a serious relationship back at home, so there was that interesting element. And so now we are coming to the beach landing at night. I think we left at 3 a.m. that year, so it was pretty, it was in the middle of the night, it's dark, and I'm running around with my camera with putting a light in people's face, and I'm asking questions. And so then Josh comes up to me and he was like, can you come over here for a second?
Yeah, I mean, anybody that's been at the beach launch in Bimini, the energy is really high. And I was just feeling on top of the world. I was feeling very confident. And so, yeah, I just boldly pulled her aside, even though she was running around with her camera. And I said something along the lines of, I know you have a boyfriend, but I feel a vibe, an attraction between us. And so if the timing's ever right, I would think it would be cool to get to know each other. And then what'd you do?
I think I was in shock. I think, I was definitely like, this isn't professional, I'm working. And then I said, yeah, I feel it too. Good luck, see you later. And I just walked away.
But it was not a rejection. So again, I'm just feeling so alive, and we launch out into the darkness, into the abyss, and man, just 2017, after doing 5 crossings, like 2017 is still such a special place in my heart. Ups, downs, all the adversity, all the things, and that first sunrise out in the Gulf Stream, where when you look in all directions and you just see the horizon, is like, it's one of those moments that like really just takes your breath away and really makes you appreciate like how big this rock that we live on really is. And anyway, I knew that Talia was on like this roving boat, and they were capturing footage of the paddlers throughout the crossing. And so, yeah, I had like an anticipation of like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna come find us, and maybe I'll get to see Talia again, and maybe I'll be able to look good while I'm paddling. And so yeah, the roving boat eventually makes their way over to us, and we're like very deep into the crossing at this point. Like, it was supposed to be a 50-mile paddle to Dania Point, but my boat had decided we were not going to reroute south, and we wanted to go beach to beach. And so we're like hours in, at least 40 miles in or something, and the body's breaking down. It's a mental game at this point, and you really don't want to waste any energy. But this roving boat comes over. There's this really cute girl on there, and so I go paddle over with the big stupid grin on my face, and
he's yelling, Talia.
Yeah, I hadn't really planned anything to say. Like, I didn't script anything. I didn't think about this, but like I was just kind of like, drunk in love a little bit. And so I paddle on over. I'm like, Talia, I get her attention. And I, again, didn't script this. And I say, have you ever seen The Notebook?
Again, yelling. Have you
yeah,
ever seen The Notebook?
Have you ever seen The Notebook? And she looks at me very confused and says yes. And I said, so you know the scene when Ryan Gosling hangs from the Ferris wheel then, right? And again, she's like looking more confused. And like kind of like, what is this dude doing? And so yes. And so I drop down on my board and I say, I'm not gonna get up and finish this paddle until you'd agree to go on a date with me. Oh, I know. Yeah. That might have been the first time I ever used the pickup line, too. Again, not sure what came on over me. And immediately, the entire boat erupts in laughter. Like literally, I just completely embarrassed myself. Captain Kyle Shea is, like, behind Talia, and I just see him, like, dying laughing. And but what was your experience of that? Come on, people want to hear.
I can't remember much. It was all a blur. I was, again, working, facing the camera, and then there's Josh paddling over. I think I felt shock and nervous and probably maybe some disassociation. And when you asked me about The Notebook, I'm thinking, we're out in the middle of motion. He's asking me about a movie. Now I'm thinking about the scenes. And, you asked that question, and it was conflicting. I was in a relationship. There was an attraction. In the moment, I think I said, can I think about it?
That is what you said, yes. And I was hurting really bad, so I said, okay, that's good enough. I'll take it. And yeah, so my crew goes on. We do not go to Dania Point. We end up reaching some random beach in Boca and have this amazing celebration amongst the 5 or 6 of us. And yeah, so you go fast forward a few hours. All the logistics of getting back to land and home, and it's like well beyond midnight at this point. And I'm at home. And in a fetal position in bed, like barely was able to get out of the shower. And I just happened to look at my phone before passing out. And the very top notification was a Facebook message from Talia. And I do have that message, but I left my phone over on the table. Yeah, come on over, Dave.
I did send him a Facebook message. I had some time to process what had happened. And I had some time to think about what I was feeling. And so, what did I say?
So again, I'm like, this is after midnight, I'm in fetal position. She says, Josh, how'd you do at the finish? Heard your boat made it to Boca. You guys kicked ass. And I never got a chance to answer your proposition today, so yes, you've got a deal. P.S. I never saw you get in the boat, and someone told me you didn't once. You're a beast. And yeah, so tell the people a little bit then what happens after the crossing.
So the crossing ends. It was, like Josh said, a huge rush of energy. Personally and professional for me, it was huge. I had met a big community of people. I had made extremely meaningful, beautiful friendships. and that have continued till today. And I finished the film. There was some connection. There was a lot of communication. Travis was playing matchmaker, trying to get us to show up to yoga classes together. Do you remember that? Eventually, as I navigated the end of my relationship, there was a door opening to get to know each other. And so, that summer of 2017, we spent a lot of time together. And we went on adventures. We went to Costa Rica.
Summer of love.
We did have a summer romance. And and then the winter came and we moved in, and it's been the most insanely challenging and beautiful experience of my life.
Yeah.
Truly.
Thank you. Just to wrap that up, it's been 7 years since then. And it's just really amazing how we met, both being from New York, both moving to Florida in the same year, and just happened to be in Bimini at the same time, thanks to Travis. And we would not have met if it wasn't for Travis having the vision and inviting people to go on this crazy adventure and stuff. And so we both found our community, we found each other, and we've, like Travis mentioned, we've been involved really every year since, and I expect that's going to continue. I might not paddle every year. I like to tell people I'm in my retirement phase, but I'll definitely always be there in some way. But that is the story on how we met.
We love you.